Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Let's see if other people are coming. Okay, I know Beth. How are you, Beth?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you, thank you.
I hope you're going to come with us.
I gotta get in shape.
No, it's an e-bike. It's an e-bike. And then there's Christine who went with us. She's already signed up, and she hiked the Inca Trail with us. So she's a pro. She's an old pro with Next Tribe. How are you, Christine?
Hey, I'm great. Well, and Jeannie, I think this trip came about because we kept talking about it, and I kept saying, yeah, I want to go to Scotland. I'll go to Scotland.
I know. And then so we were hiking the trail, and I was like, we want more adventure trips. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was thinking of one of the best adventure trips I ever did was this trip in Scotland. So I thought, yeah, I can put that together. It'd be a great trip. And I remembered the e-bikes. I did it without e-bikes, but I'm telling you, I am all for the e-bikes. And there's Jeannie Edmonds, who's our Chief Operating Officer. Hey, Jeannie. And there's Emily, who I just saw yesterday, and she hiked the Inca Trail with us, and she's already signed up for this trip. So we've got some powerful women on this trip. And there's Vanessa, who has signed up for this coming Inca Trail trip. And I'm so excited for you to come with us. And there's Diane. I haven't seen Diane in so long.
Hi,
How are
Jeannie. How are
you?
you?
Good to see you.
You too.
Is your last name, are you Scottish, from Scottish heritage?
I'm from the Isle of Skye.
Oh, you are kidding me. Oh my gosh.
That's where my family came from.
Wow. So we'll ask you questions. And then there's Amy Mitchell. Hi, Amy. If you want to show your face, we'd love to see you. But if you don't feel like it, that's okay too. How are you, Amy?
I'm fine.
Good. Where are you?
I'm in Austin.
Oh, good. Well, we always have a lot of good people from Austin coming on trips with us. And how about Laura? If you want to show your face, you're welcome to. Laura, if you're there, or Mary Gregorio. Either one of you, if you want to say hi, that'd be great. But if not,
This is Laura. I'll say hi. I won't show my face because my hair is kind of a mess. But
that's okay.
hi.
We're all good with it. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love doing these. These are like the most fun things I do over Zoom, I think, is because I get to talk about where we're going and the trips. And I always have a PowerPoint, the most fun use of a PowerPoint. I promise it's not a boring PowerPoint, but I just want you to get a glimpse of it, and I can talk you through it. And then you can either interrupt me with questions, or you can write your questions in the chat, either one. So I'm going to do this thing where I put my PowerPoint as a slideshow. I just learned how to do that. I'm so far behind. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Now now it's full page and I can't go back to the thing. Hold on a second. Dang it. So sorry. Let's do it this way. Okay. I'm going to do it a different way. So I'm going to do the sharing first, and then I will turn this thing on. Just a minute. Okay, now play from start. Okay, so this is just, what a combination. Scotland, islands, e-bikes, scenery, good food, good wine. And good whiskey. So we'll begin in Edinburgh, and this is mainly 3 days there is I want everyone to get kind of over their jet lag, and what a beautiful place to get over jet lag. We'll do some hikes up to Arthur's Seat. We'll go do some we'll go to some of the castles and of course the pubs and so forth. I want to do some, try to get some good, nice walking in. We'll do a lot of walking just to just get the juices flowing, but not, not too much walking, but just enough to get you, get you over your jet lag and into the Scottish spirit. And this, I had to put this in here because we can do this, which is so fun, is to get your family, if you have any kind of Scottish heritage, you can find out your tartan, your plaid. We're on a whiskey tour, just because I'd love for you to, I'm not a big whiskey drinker, but when in Rome, right, or when in Scotland, when I did this trip before, I started really appreciating some, and I don't drink it now, but I feel like I know something about it, and it was fun to do it and get in the spirit of it there. So we'll just get prepared for going on to Islay. So that we will have good food. There's a restaurant that Emily suggested to me that I'm getting reservations at, like a must. So we'll eat well. We'll just do that Edinburgh thing. And then we take a train. This is on June 25th. We'll take a train from Edinburgh to a spot, now I can't remember the name of it, on the coast, and I'll see it in a minute. And then we meet them, the company there, our biking outfitter, and they give us our e-bikes. They give us, we can have the little things on the side, panniers, and then we're off. And this is self-guided, so it's not like we have a tour leader or anything. I mean, I'll be the tour leader, but it's not like we have somebody from the company as a tour leader. And I really like that, because it gives you that freedom to just stop where you want to stop and see the kind of things that you want to see. And so we're going to be a small group. The most we can take is 10, because of the way the reservations are at the inns along the way are. So we will get on the ferry with our bike and our luggage. So it'll take some coordination, but there's a place on the ferry to put up on the ground level where the cars are, to park your bike in a little bike room, and then you go up and you just relax and enjoy the scenery. And then we get to the first island is the island of Arran, and this is from when I was there before, and this is where we stay, this beautiful inn. It was, stone inn, and it was a restaurant and a pub, and we happened to be there on pub trivia night. We had so much fun. And the Scottish people, of course, are just so beautiful and embracing, and we just loved it. We could have stayed there the whole time. But so this is the island of Arran, and so what we'll do is we come into Brodick, and so and then we spend the night, and then the next day we go this way around and up back to Brodick. So we'll do a big loop, and right here in this part there is quite a hill, but on e-bikes, when we were there before, my husband and I were like working it, and then this guy comes by and looks like he's hardly breaking a sweat. And this before we realized how great e-bikes were, and we both felt so sad. We're like, oh, we're so weak. Then I passed a guy when he was sitting on the side of the road. I said, "You're making us look bad." And he said, "It's an e-bike." And so then we'll be back in Brodick and spend the night at the same place. And then the next day we go, this is I will show you here's some of the scenery. We can go see, this is Brodick Castle right here. And then this is just some of the places. This picture on the bottom right is after I'd climbed the hill, and then there was a nice downhill. And I mean, the thing about Arran is they say it is Scotland in miniature. that it is, it's just so, it's got everything. It's got the mountains and the coastline and the ruins and the castles. It's like all of Scotland in miniature. There's actually a pretty high mountain in the center of the island. So this is the 2 ferry days. So the second day we'll get up and we will ride to Lacranza, and we'll get a ferry across to this little peninsula here, if you can see, and then we ride it, I'm sorry, to Cloneg, and I'm sorry, that's where we go. And then we cross over and we get another ferry here. So what happens is when we're moving hotels or inns, what happens is that we leave our bag behind, and the company has it all figured out. They have somebody bring it from the inn to meet us at the ferry. We walk it onto the ferry, and then there's somebody else meeting us on the other side of the ferry when we get off to take it. And then they'll meet us again at this spot here with the bags. And it sounds more complicated than it is. It was really smooth. We didn't have any trouble with it. And this time at this point, we get a ferry to the island of Islay. And we go to Islay that night and spend the night. And then we spend a day going to Jura, which is another island, which they say is like going back in time, because there's almost nothing there. And it's true. It's just like there's one road in and one road out. You can't get lost. It's like, but this is, it's got one little town there with this hotel. We're not staying at that hotel, but that's where we ate lunch, and just incredible, this little cottage and that you see. It's just a beautiful, beautiful trip back in time, and it's pretty flat. It's pretty flat riding, because you're just going along the coast the whole way, which is very nice. And then this is the island of Islay. And has anybody heard of Islay before this? So Islay, I had heard about it in a strange way, but Islay is really known as some of the most distinctive whiskey in Scotland.
All
And
my favorites, Jeannie, all my favorites.
all
I know-
your favorites. Oh my God, you are going to be going crazy then when we're here,
I
because
gotta stop at all of them.
we'll stop at all of them. It's what we do is we'll stay kind of in the town of the Valley Grants right here. And then the first day that we stay there, we will be going to Jura, which is right here. Then the second day we ride around on this northern part. We ride on a lot of these. We go to Port Charlotte, and then Brunlodic. You know Brunlodic, Christine, right? And Kilcaman, that's another one, but we'll get to those. So we do that, and then so we spend 2 nights at this hotel in Ballygrant, and then we end up staying near Port Ellen for 2 nights, and I'll show you there, because right here is where there's so many of the famous, really famous distilleries. But going around, there's just so much to see. Look at these little towns, just these gorgeous vistas. I love this. I always love this picture. It just makes me want to sit there. It's like just pointing out to the sea and just spending time. So here's the what you're interested, Christine, and what I'm interested in too. I mean, I as I said, I wasn't a big whiskey drinker. I still don't drink it a lot, but I loved the history of all this place. And you can see these go back to the Jura, the distilleries, 1810. There's some that 1846. I guess 1810 is probably Bowmore, 1779. So these distilleries, some are, you see some that are a little bit newer, or quite a bit newer, but they have such a great history, and taste is a little more, they call it more peaty, because there's on the island, they produce a lot of peat, which is, used for keeping houses warm, burnt, slow burn. So that, but how any kind of distillery or any kind of spirit like this, a lot of time they absorb the flavors of the earth and the air and so this is salty air and peaty ground and all of that. So it's got a really distinctive flavor. And just here's, Lefroy is a very famous one, Lagavulin, right on the water here, there's beauty, and all the tasting rooms are beautiful, and you don't have to taste them. It's just fun to see and look. And so I had little taste, and I just enjoyed the whole experience of it and learning the history. You go on tours of the distilleries, and Lefroy is such a it's famous. It's the only it's only alcohol that was allowed from Scotland allowed in the US during Prohibition. And that's because they said it was a medicine. It has very medicinal flavor. And one of the things at the distillery, they have this whole wall and they write on it some of the worst things that have been said about their whiskey. Like one quote that I remember was, somebody said, "It tastes like kissing your fourth cousin who has a mustache, your great aunt who has a mustache," or something like that. So they have a good sense of humor, as you can imagine, because they're Scottish. This is just to give you a sense of the accommodations. I mean, and I think I wrote in the information about the trip, is that we're not staying in the top of the line hotels. They're inns and guest houses. They're clean and beautiful. They're just, it's just what you find on these islands. And because they're bed and breakfast, like at this place here, when we stayed there, we got to know the woman and the innkeeper and her husband, and then we got to know some guy who was there doing some work and for the Scottish government. So we saw him at breakfast every morning. Just a beautiful kind of place. And I just loved all the different animals we saw, especially the Scottish cow. I think there's probably I know there's a more proper name. So
Do you know what it's called, Jeannie?
Yep.
It's called a Hieland Coo.
A Hieland Coo. That's, oh my gosh, a Hieland Coo. See, you need to come, Vanessa, so we can hear this.
I would, if I wasn't going in August, I would come, but I'm not.
I know. And then this is, so on our trip, we go back to the original place that we left from, which is, was it not Ballycurran, not Bowmore, wait, just Brodick, sorry. Brodick on the island of Arran. We go get back there and then take the ferry back to cross and get a train from there to Edinburgh. To Glasgow. So because it's closer, we'll fly out of Glasgow airport, or you can go on to Edinburgh, and if you want to fly out of the same city. So and these are, so we had time before the ferry came, and so I met these two women, these two good friends who'd been coming. They're from Scotland, but they'd been coming to the island of Arran since they were little, and so I like that they're drinking their whiskey. And then so this is what you say, and I'll ask Vanessa to say it. Vanessa, how do you say that?
Slangeva.
Did I say that? Is that the phonetic thing?
That's a good phonetic, yeah, because it's just
Okay,
Slangeva.
Slangeva. So anyway, instead
Speaking
of
of pronunciation, I have a challenge for all of you.
what?
How to really, because it ticks off Scottish people. One little thing is when people can't say Edinburgh, and so it's not Edinburgh. Please don't say Edinburgh.
It's
So
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Borough.
It's not as it's spelled. It's just like the end is borough. So but it's like bruh. Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Think more like, no, not borough. It's like bra almost at the end, like Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Did I say that right? Well, you'll work on me. We'll work on this. So this is just an overview, and hold on, I've got to end show. This is an overview, and I can go back to anything you want, but I just want to give you an overview of it, and then answer questions. I know Emily had some questions for me earlier, and what we, just so everybody can know what the questions were, Emily.
She has to,
Oh, yeah,
she has to undo her mic.
there
Yeah.
she is.
There we go. Yeah, so what I was curious about, Jeannie, I know you, with the luggage, the bike tour company sort of gets that from ferry to ferry. But what happens if there's an issue with one of the bikes? Like, do they, cell service could be problematic out there, but because pedaling those e-bikes without any gears or anything is not fun.
Yes, I asked him, he said, you will have our out of office phone number and would contact us directly. Then depending on what the problems are, will depend on the solution. We have never had any issues while guests are on tour that generally cannot be fixed via a video call. So, and because they know
Because they know you have MacGyver on the
oh,
bike.
and we do have MacGyver on the trip. Can you
Yeah.
hear us, Diane?
I couldn't hear what you were just saying right there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we have the opportunity, we'll have the number to call them. And we actually, when I was on this before, we called one time because we got to a ferry early, and there was, I'm not sure. And so we got there early, and we didn't understand what time the ferry was. So we ended up calling them because we got mixed up on the ferry time. But it was, so we called them on the out of office. And yes, there's the issue of cell phones, but we didn't have any cell phone problems. I mean, and there are pay phones that we were able to call a taxi once from a payphone. Believe it or not, there's still pay phones there. So, and the other question that you asked, I never remember what you asked, Emily, is about charging the bikes up. So you charge them. Yeah, you charge them up every night. You take the batteries into your room with you, so you can charge them there.
Have you heard about all the fires that are happening with those batteries?
Seriously?
Oh yeah, in New York? Are you kidding? Like there've been like major house fires with people charging those batteries inside.
Okay, so we don't want to do it inside. We'll tell them we'll do it.
So yeah, it's a real problem in New York right now.
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe- I wonder if it's to do with the voltage, because maybe some of the batteries are not made for US voltage. I just let you ladies know, I have a lot of friends in Scotland who do e-biking the whole time and never had any issues.
Okay.
That's
But I'll
good.
double check with them and see, I mean, whether we could put them, hook them up outside the inn instead of in our room, if that's a
Yeah.
concern. But, and I don't know if it's, I'll have to look that up. Because I want to buy an e-bike myself.
So headline in the New York Times just 2 hours ago, e-bikes are convenient. They can also cause fatal fires. I just Googled.
Thanks. Thanks, New York
seriously.
Times.
I'm worried about it. I mean, remember, your laptops can cause fires,
Right.
That's why you can't put them in the overhead bin. So it's not something I'm super worried about, right?
Okay.
No.
Yeah, don't.
Saying it is top of the news wire.
Oh my God, that's so funny that just came out. Okay, well, and we'll read and see what the issue is and
That's
what we
called
can.
Murphy's Law, Jeannie.
Oh, okay.
Right? Murphy's Law, it comes out when you have an e-bike trip.
So,
Jamie, what's the average mileage in a day, do you think?
let me go to, I have that, I just gotta go, call it up. So, because I put it on the new thing that we have a new platform now for our trips, and I have the mileage per day. The most is, let me see, the most is, let's see, looks like 34 is the most. There's one where you could go, that when you go to Jura, if you wanted to, you could go up all the way to for 50 miles, but we wouldn't do that because it's an up and turnaround. So you can decide. This is okay. This is about 36 to 40 on the, and then this on the Thursday of the trip. Let's see, Thursday, June 29th, Friday, June 30th is 22 to 34 miles. This is the one where we do go to all the distilleries or some of the major distilleries in Islay. And then so I would say the average is around 30 something per day. And just so you know, this is considered a level 2 in difficulty by the company. They rate them, and it goes up to level 4 plus. So level 2 is considered, hold on, I'm going to tell you exactly what it says as far as the level. I wanted to give you the exact wording. Let's see. It is a biking in flat to hilly areas. You will encounter some climbs from time to time, sometimes short but steep. The daily distances are between 18 and 45 miles per day. So this is a level 2 ride. I've done a level 4 and on a different ride, and it was on a real bike too. But so this is beautiful riding. There's occasionally you'll get like I say, occasionally you'll get a steep climb, but again, because we're on e-bikes, I'm not so worried about it. So what else can I tell you about the way it operates, or does anybody have hesitations about it besides the fact that now the New York Times is talking about the e-bike batteries?
Can I ask you a question about e-bikes, Jeannie? Do you have to pedal it all, or could you just sit there and let it do all the work?
No, you have to pedal some, but I rented an e-bike when I was in Leadville, Colorado, which is like 11,000 feet. And I think I'm pretty sure these bikes, because have different way. You can do just a little assist. You can do no assist. You can do a little more assist, and then you can do a lot assist. So when I was up in Leadville, which is 11,000 feet, so that I would just pedal. I had it on the first day. I had it on a lot of assist, and then my goal was to get it down to like the most minimal assist. But you still pedal, but it's not a strain on your body to go up on these hills. So
do they recommend having bike shoes? Do you know?
no.
Okay, just
Well, I mean, they don't recommend it. I mean, the fact, I think you have to bring your own pedals.
okay.
If you want to lock in. Plus, I a lot of times ride with locked in, but you're riding on, this isn't like smooth. It's not all perfectly paved. I mean, there's some older roads, so you do want to have your feet free, and the e-bikes have the kind of a thicker tire, which is perfect for this. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Do they
So
have a shoe cage though, where you can at least put your sneaker in so you can pull up and push down? No. It's just you have to bring your pedal, or only if you want to clip in, you have to bring your pedal.
If you want even those little cages, you bring your pedal.
Okay.
Because they're just the plainest of pedals.
Yeah.
Just a flat pedal. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Who's got, Beth, what's your interest in this?
Oh, well, I have a question, and I know weather is unpredictable.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll get in some rain, and it's always, I think it rained a whole day once, but it was light rain. It wasn't a downpour.
And we just keep going.
Oh, you keep going. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I mean,
okay.
and or you can, you can do less, or you could sit out. This is it'd be your trip. Like the I was showing you there's a loop you do on the first day. That's the southern part and of the island of Arran, and it'd be like, if you didn't want to do it, you could just say, "I'll wait. Weather doesn't good." The only time you have to do something is because you have to get to another
From
island.
place to place.
Yeah. But I found that so adventurous to me. It just was extra adventurous. It's like, oh my gosh, we've got to get a ferry and get on. You're on the ferry. I don't know. It's like we're really going places.
Sounds beautiful. It really does.
So you do, yes, you would bring a rain jacket or some sort water repellent. And I had that, and it's amazing. It wasn't ever a downpour, but isn't that the way it is, Vanessa? I mean, the rain is sometimes just.
Yeah, you're going to be on the West Coast, so it's West Coast drizzle is what you get. It's not like Texas downpours. I'd highly recommend waterproof pants as well that you can put over your shorts or leggings or whatever because that way you're just not soaking wet. There's nothing worse than being soaking wet, especially if you don't have a lot of time overnight to dry things.
Yeah, that's a good.
Whereas if you can pop on some waterproofs, they're not too expensive. Just
and I'll have a packing list for everyone, and the company is really good about their own on their website. I think I put on their website on the sign up, on the information, but I will, if I didn't, I'll put it right now. I'll find it and put it in the chat here, so you can look up and see what the kind of some of their FAQs and things like that. So
but do take sunscreen. People think, oh, Scotland, it doesn't get hot, but it does, and the sun is strong, so put sunscreen on.
Yeah. And we will be there in June, so we'll be there right at like the longest days. Not that we'll be on the bikes long day, but then we'll have time to see things in the around the hotel we're staying at and so forth. So that's good. So there's the Hooked on Cycling, and here is the just the regular FAQs that I will okay, I'll put that there.
Jeannie, what's the arrangement with meals?
They're covered. I think let me check. Believe lunches, once we're on the route, we're not covering lunches, just because there's freedom to, people obviously might want to all stick together, but there is freedom to break off and say, because everybody's going to have the exact turn by turn routes with them. They'll have, GPS, whatever. So I thought it would be better. I'm not going to cover lunches while we're cycling, because people might want to stop at different times or head back to the hotel early. So, but meals, the breakfasts are all included with the, it's bed and breakfast. And then there are just sweet little places to eat on the islands, a couple of the inns we're staying at have restaurants on the premises, really nice restaurants. I'll show you this. I'll show you a link to one of the hotels that we're staying at. And you can see the restaurant. It has a little pub and all that. So this is on Islay. So if you want to look at that. Valley Grant Inn. Hi, Mary. I didn't get to say hi to you before. Oop. There you
Oh,
go.
can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, hi. Sorry, I had to unmute.
that's welcome, because I think you came in after we.
Yeah, I was
started.
a couple minutes late.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So, what about you? Do you have any questions or hesitations, or what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I have, I'm not a big athlete, but I'm concerned for myself as far as, do I want to be on a bike every day, all day? It's like, so I don't know if this is the right trip for me, and I can do it. I'm not worried about, but I just, it sounds fabulous. I've been to Scotland and some of the islands myself already. And so I'm just thinking about, is this a trip I want to do since I've already been there?
Right.
But it's intriguing to have the bike option. And I guess the question I have listening to everybody is, if you choose a day that you don't really want to bike, I'm going like worst case scenario. And then we're leaving that island, you have no choice but to get on your bike and go. Would that make,
Yeah,
I don't
you
want to be
do
a
have to- I mean,
heavy downer, but it's like, what if?
There are three, so we're riding for six days.
Okay.
3 of the days you do not, that you're starting and ending at the same place, so you could decide not to. But the 3 days where you're catching ferries, then you would have to.
Okay, I mean, that makes total sense. I just
Yeah.
wanted to clarify.
And one of those days is actually, you're just, if you didn't want to do the whole bike ride, you would just ride from this is on the island of Islay. You would ride from the northern part of the island to the inn on the southern part, and it is probably, I mean, that's probably like 10 miles, because you're not doing any loops, you're just going straight. Let me see, I should show you on the I'll show you, but in a bit I'll show you some of the up close on the map. I just got to go back to my PowerPoint.
So the other question I have too, while you're doing that, is just to get a general idea of, and of course, no one has to really answer this, but if they wanted to, I'm just curious how many of the gals are already biking people. I just was thinking, we might be up against some really great bikers here, and I'm going to be in the back going,
No,
yeah.
No, I think for something like this, I'd be with you.
Yeah,
I'd be with you too.
I know. I don't think, I don't see that as a problem. And it's kind of like,
Emily's saying it's not a race. It's not a
yeah,
race.
exactly.
And I'm going to be drinking whiskey. So
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, if you can drink whiskey and do this trip, that's amazing.
Well, and I did taste whiskey, and I was on a regular pedal bike, and I somehow made it. But what I think is just what Emily said about it's not a race. It's really, and it also is, to be on the bike is a way to be more in touch with nature and your surroundings. I think I found it to be, I felt so much a part of the whole scenery, because you're there with the wind and the smells and the different animals and the different viewpoints from tiny little spots you wouldn't normally go to. So I felt it allowed me to be much closer to the whole island and the landscape, sorry. So
and Jeannie, to put it in perspective, right? If we're going like 30 something miles, I mean, you can do how many miles in an hour, right? So it's not like you're biking 8 hours a day.
You're stopping a lot.
Yeah, you're you can get a bunch of miles in an hour, and then, but you see places you want to stop along the way. So it's, cumulatively, it's not a day of biking, right?
Yeah, no, we stopped a lot. And even though I had a husband who didn't necessarily like to stop a lot, we did stop a lot still. But I would you go through these little towns, and I would, if I were on my trip last time, I would have stopped and wanted to look at these little shops and stuff and in these little tiny towns, because that kind of stuff there is the stuff you're not going to find in, up in Edinburgh. I mean, maybe, but you know what I mean? It's probably the handmade little thingies. So anyway, but yes, it's not a race. It's a great way to get close to the whole landscape and nature, and see places that you probably would never see otherwise. So and I just, to me, that the whole thing that makes it possible is that there are e-bikes. I wouldn't necessarily even put this out there for if there weren't e-bikes, just because it then you can really, I think then there would be a big difference. There might be a big difference in how people were going fast or slow. But with e-bikes, I think it's a leveler. I mean, it makes us all kind of in the same class as far as how fast we can go, and or how slow we want to go. The bikes are set in Scotland. The max is 15 miles an hour, so that you can go. So that's what I read. If that helps, I mean, it's a leisurely pace. That's not a huge, that's not a zoom or anything. And why would we do this if we were racing through? It's one thing we learned in hiking the Inca Trail is just the beauty of taking it slow and enjoying the route as you go. So I feel the same about this. It's like we're not, but I do love the idea that, okay, we got to go get our ferry. I don't know, there's something about that. It's just like, oh, we're going island hopping. We're seeing something different. And so I kind of like that part. What I want to say is that the company wants us to have our group together by the end of March is when we need to have the group together. So I just want to, we have 4 people signed up. So I need 3 more to make it really good. I mean, I would be happy to have 3 more. So if you're thinking about it, I wanted to give you the date that we want to have people by the end of March that signed up, so that we can get everything squared away. Because I've already put deposits down because I had to on this. So they're just sitting there waiting for somebody.
Please come. We wanted to go.
What's the price tag on this, Ginny?
It is, hold on, I should know that off the top of my head.
My friend in Scotland was maybe interested in joining you.
Oh my God, how fun would that
Have a
be?
local with you. So guide you around.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so
He's
fabulous.
a big hiker and biker. So.
It is, why can't I see it? $39.50 that you get your discount for being Next Tribe members, but so it's $38.50, and that is for 10 nights. So if it seems high, it's just because we have 10 nights. We have 3 in Edinburgh, 6 in the islands, and then we have a night at the airport hotel in Glasgow, just so everybody can fly out of there. Again, I think I mentioned this, if you want to fly out of Edinburgh, if you want to fly in and out of Edinburgh, and we can make those arrangements as far as like making sure your train goes all the way there. I think I said if you're going to fly out of there, I'm getting a good group rate for the airport hotel, so I can't necessarily cover the airport hotel if you're flying out of Edinburgh. I flew in and out. I flew into Glasgow and out of Glasgow, and I then took an Uber from Glasgow to Edinburgh, and but I don't know now if it makes much difference in price to go, if you go in and out of the same place or you go in and out of a different place. But if ideally you'd fly into Edinburgh and out of Glasgow, that would be like the best possible thing.
I might go in early too, a few days early, and get up to the Highlands. So I
Ooh,
might try to
nice.
go in the weekend before.
That's I would love that. I was in my mind, I was thinking, oh, I could do a trip where it's you hike and then you bike, but then it started getting so long that I just realized that that'd be so hard for people to do. And I want to get you back by the 4th of July.
And you're only doing this trip one time this year, right?
One time. And it's depending on how I would do it, possibly do it again to see how it goes. That's how I like to do how a trip goes. And most of them, I've always, there's not been one I haven't wanted to repeat, but if people don't seem to like it for any reason, then I wouldn't do it again. But I'm even, I'm doing the Inca Trail hike again. I didn't necessarily know that I would, but it was so fabulous that I just had to do it. I had to do it again. And because it's the thing about the Inca Trail and a lot of these trips where you're exerting yourself, I just feel like it adds to the bonding. It adds to that kind of feeling of of forming a nice group mentality, just camaraderie to go through something like this together. It's not obviously as hard as the Inca Trail, but we're going to be seeing things and kind of putting ourselves out there and doing something, not the typical vacation, but an adventure. This is, and I did hear from the people on the Inca Trail hike, they wanted a little more adventure travel because we have the city travels, we have the beach retreats and things like that. So I thought this would be a great addition. So anyway, I'm going to put this, for reading more, I put the, the Hooked on Cycling is in there, and there's a FAQ. I want to put the sign up there if you think you want to learn more about how we're doing it specifically, and just so you have this new sign up form, because it's a different way we're managing our our trip, so that you can see who's already signed up. You can see you can make payment plans, which is really nice. So I hope you'll take a look, and if there's any more questions, let me know.
I have one question
Yeah.
regarding the travel portion of the website. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but whenever I click on the link, it takes me to the site, but I get a blank page.
I think if are you going off of what I gave you in the yesterday's member thing? I think because I kind of made a mistake. So if you go on chat right now and click on that bike tour, see if it comes up. I had something wrong with the link I gave out in the member.
And I get the same thing, Jeannie. It says powered by We Travel, but it's a blank page. It's so weird. Has anybody else had that issue? Or is it, you know what? Maybe. So sometimes this happens. It could be the browser.
Oh, what browser is it?
Safari, and I probably
try it in Chrome.
Chrome,
Yeah, Safari.
yeah.
I have a lot of trouble with that.
Okay, let me do a copy and paste. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
I just clicked on that link Jeannie just posted in chat, and it works.
Okay.
It's probably my browser. So hang on a second. Let me just do this.
Hey, Jeannie, she's looking. So we'll want to have bike shorts, right, to be comfortable in, a little bit of padded shorts.
Yes, you'll want the padded
bike
shorts.
clothes, and then the gear for rain.
Yeah.
And then when we're, when we change out of that, I'm assuming it's pretty casual outdoors
yeah.
type clothes. Okay.
Yeah, very, very casual, but yes, I wear double. I wear little padded underwear, then also bike shorts.
It was the
But
browser.
it was a browse. Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Especially when we're moving to a new platform like that, I
Mhm.
get worried that we've messed up somehow. So, so good. Well, you guys have my email, and I'm going to write it again just in case, but just please email me if you have any questions, because this is it's such a fun trip. I love the addition of, I know the whiskey is, as I said, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but it has that certain other level because it's got such a great history, of these islands. And the way I found out about Islay is such like a crazy thing. I found out about it when I was in Japan, in Tokyo one time. So it's a crazy way. But then I was like, oh my God, we've got to go. I was telling my husband, we've got to go to this island. There's something about this island that just has fascinated me. And I was so happy to get to go there. And I think you will. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
If any
Anything
of you
else you want to say, Jeannie Edmonds? She hasn't been.
No, I think, Jeannie, your enthusiasm is just so infectious, and your love for this kind of a trip, it's just infectious. I'm saying, that's why I'm smiling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's so many different ways to travel, and I like to do all of them. And one of them is just to be close to everything on the road, and just stopping and seeing everything you can. So anyway, I'm always available if you have any questions. So
Thank you for organizing it.
oh, well, thank you. Thanks for coming tonight. And I will send out a recording of this just in case you wanted to check anything. I'll send it to everybody who signed up, because a few people signed up, but then I see that they couldn't make it. So I always do that. Okay.
Sounds
Thank you
good.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.